Yo, what up guys? Welcome friends and family. This is Matthew on the Fletcher Experience, and I just wanted to make a video just to offer people support during this time of crisis. I thought maybe I could use my gifts, skills and talents to offer something to people who may be feeling quite anxious about what's happening in our current world today. So in this video I just wanted to offer 7 tips that could possibly help us to stay calm and stay ready, to stay firm and strong and be of service to others out there in the world who may need help, to those who are around us. So tip number 1, it is important for us to name our situation. So currently we're in a situation that is very and highly unpredictable. It's almost like we don't know what's going to happen next, right? So this Friday in the UK they closed down all the schools, the gyms, any public places. We can't really go out to them, and so we're practicing social distancing. But these changes are rapid and pretty traumatic to our way of life. So I know some people out there may have lost their jobs, some people may have got pay cuts, and so there's a dramatic change in our life and in our circumstances. Together, I think for most of us, we're quite used to relying on the system, relying on that stability that the system offers, the job security, the security of an income, the security of knowing what's going to happen tomorrow and what's going to happen next week. We're quite good at predicting, what's going to happen next week and what's going to happen next month. But because of the new situation and the crisis that we're in, we're not able to predict those new things. So it's quite normal for us to experience this sense of anxiety or fear and worry. So the idea is that just for us to know that this is a normal experience and not to freak ourselves out too much. Point number 2, I feel like it's really important that we understand our own human nature and what we're capable of doing as humans. So with my family's experience in Cape Town City, we experienced a massive water shortage where all the dams were drying up, right? And people were freaking out a little bit. And so everyone was really worried that we'd run out of water. Everyone had to be on a quota of around 50 liters of water a day. I could be wrong about that. Need to double check that. So essentially people were worried, and what happens when people worry, they can sometimes move into a state of self-preservation, right? And people panic, people start fighting in shops, people were buying up massive big drums for storing water, and of course people clash and people fight over buying containers and water things and things like that. People had to wait in line. My family was out waiting by a spring in the mountainside to get water. Another experience, my father, when he was in the military, involved in combat operations in Angola, his camp basically faced starvation. Well, there were rumors of starvation. So basically there was a food shortage, and word got around the camp that there was a food shortage, and so the soldiers started freaking out a little bit. And so when the food trucks did arrive to bring the food, the soldiers went crazy and everyone was just running in to grab what they could for themselves. And some of them would push and shove each other and sort of fight over getting as much food as they could for themselves. So this is almost like a natural human reaction, self-preservation. When we panic, we tend to tap into our basic human instincts, and we got to be aware of that because we don't want to go there. And if we head that way, of course, we're going to hurt other people, and that's not what we want to do, right? So we always got to stay calm, stay relaxed. In that situation, my father just took a step back, and he just let people do what they needed to do, what they wanted to do. And he stepped back and he avoided all the confrontation and all the fighting, right? Because in the end, there was enough food for everyone anyway. This then leads to my point number 3. We really need to anchor ourselves in a state of peace, to ground ourselves in peace so we can be active agents of peace towards those around us. So if we look at the news media at the moment, if we're looking at it a lot, it can cause a lot of anxiety and it can cause a lot of fear from what we're reading and what we experience on our day-to-day life when we walk around in the shops. And maybe people are fighting, maybe people are being anxious themselves, and they're projecting their inner chaos onto everyone else, right? So we got to be aware of how the news media is affecting us, what people are saying is affecting us, and how people are behaving is affecting us, right? Because essentially it's going to pull away from our center of peace. So it's going to be very vital during this time for us to cultivate our own inner sanctuary of peace, right? And being grounded in that center of peace, being anchored in that center of peace. So when the media and when other people are projecting their own chaos upon us, we can come back, yeah, right? When their chaos is pulling us away, when the chaos of the media is pulling us away from our center, right? We can come back. We need to come back to our center always. And so this is going to be important for us to create a routine of stability. And so this can vary in how you do this, right? And if you don't have any routines in terms of cultivating inner peace, perhaps this could be your opportunity to try something new, try something different. So a few things you can do. If you're not religious, you can try meditation. Meditation is a great way of stilling the mind and helping us to be aware of our surroundings, right? Just to stay still and to feel what's within ourselves. And this can also begin a journey of our own personal self-discovery. Because when we stay still, we're able to hear and listen and hear our hearts. And what our hearts are saying, we begin to learn about ourselves. If you're Christian, it'll be vital to anchor yourself in the Word of God. Just like meditation, it'd be great to do this every single morning, to root yourself in a practice that's continuous, right? So because we're going to be facing new situations each day that are going to take away our peace, we need to come back to that place of peace all the time. So if you're Christian, reading the scriptures, I would say is vital. Doing Lectio Divina, doing contemplative prayer, stillness, silence, praying the rosary, coming up with your own routine and your own way of life is going to be important. Point number 4, we really need to guard our own mental health. This can be very tricky depending on the situation that we're in. Some of us might be doctors, some of us might be nurses. We might be in self-isolation, we might be practicing or doing social distancing. And so this may require a different level of living, a different way of being, a different way of living. And so we need to find a way of cultivating a new way of life, a new way of being that can help keep our own mental life and emotional life in check. Meditation really helps to still the mind and to still our own being so we can become aware of what we're feeling inside and what we're thinking and how fast our thoughts are moving. Depending on our situation, if you're able to do exercise, meditation, things like this can really help to alleviate stress. Perhaps there's some activities that we can get involved in, maybe gardening. Perhaps there's an activity you can think of that brings you peace, an activity that calms your soul. Experiment and explore and discover to find out those activities that can bring life. So this can be very tricky depending on your situation, whether you're working in hospitals, if you're working in the shops, or if you're just self-isolating. We're gonna have to somehow find a way of being creative. So point number 5. Finding 5 friends around you that may need help and support. So take a moment just to reflect on those who are around you, right? In your life right now, those you live with and those you encounter. I suppose you won't be encountering many people if you're social distancing, but perhaps those that you know anyway, that you can contact via Facebook or that you can call, right? Identify who perhaps is a doctor, who could be a nurse, who could be working in the shops, right, where we're buying food from. Who is it that we know may have a mental health condition, or who we know may be quite fragile in a situation like this, or perhaps just our close friends. So I think it would be very important for us to identify those people who are around us who may need support and check up on them on a weekly, daily basis. So I've got about 5-6 friends that I've written down that I'm going to be keeping in contact with. Me being a Christian, there's people in the NHS that I'm going to be praying for. There's people I'm going to be calling on a regular basis. I also have some helping skills, doing a counseling course, so I can offer that to people who may be in need. So this will be great in providing support for our friends and seeing who may be in need, and this will be an opportunity to build community. Alrighty, this leads to point number 6. Yo, we gotta stick to the government regulations, homies. Yeah, I know there's no one keeping checks and tabs on us, but seriously, we really have to follow the government regulations, especially in the UK, right? So essentially they are slowly putting the country into lockdown. Right now we're doing social distancing, which is quite a cool thing in some way for the government to be allowing us to do this, right? In terms of a complete lockdown. So I think it would be wise for us to stick to the regulations, and hopefully we do, in order to stop the spread of the virus, and so we can go back to our normal lives as soon as possible. Finally, point number 7, I think it's important for us to see what opportunities are available, positive opportunities of how we can use this time right now that we're in. It depends on our situation. Right now, I'm in the situation of social distancing. I was going to start looking for a job, but I can't look for a job now. So I figured I'd just use my gifts and talents and my skills to offer support to those who are out there who may be struggling, those who may need support, right? So Right now I'm going to be using this opportunity to self-study in counseling. I've done a counseling course, and so I'm going to be offering some of my counseling skills to those who may need it. Right, so if you're perhaps maybe in self-isolation, or if you're social distancing, perhaps you can use this time to create a new way of life, to structure a new way of being, right? With times of meditation, times of prayer, times of giving thanks, right? Maybe this is an opportunity for self-studying. Perhaps there's particular subjects that you're interested in that you can read books on. Perhaps there's activities you can do, like I've tried to build a little bit of an indoor gym, which I've been given weights and given things luckily before this all started happening. So I'm able to work out at home, use my own body. You can use your own body as a weight to work out at home, doing push-up, squats, all that kind of stuff. So number 7, yeah, how can we seek positive opportunities here to build community, to support others, to find a way of bringing good into the world? So yeah, I'd love for you guys to think in ways that can be, let me know in the comments if there's ways you can help out other people, help your nurses, help your doctors, help those who are out in the shops working really hard, where we go and buy our food. And yeah, where's the opportunity to serve others and to be there as a source of hope, to be a source of peace. And of course, I didn't include this into the points, but we've all got to look after our own personal health. Yeah, personal health, man. If you want to survive, having a really bad flu, it's wise, man, to stick to eating some healthy foods. Ginger, really good for the immune system. Lemon, very good for the immune system. I've got these little vitamin C tablets, man. I don't really care if they don't work or if they do work. I'm taking those every day. I've got some multivitamins. I've got some magnesium and zinc tablets. That's really good for boosting up the immune system. Also making sure you wash your hands, all that kind of stuff that you've probably been hearing a million times over and over again. Just make sure you guys do it, right? Because we all, by staying healthy, we're keeping everyone else around us healthy, and we're putting ourselves in a position where we can help other people. Yo, I hope this video was helpful. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Is it worth me making another video? Let me know. Alright guys, stay peaceful, stay happy, God bless, and see you soon. Peace out.